Hi there, and welcome to the Celeb Tea, the most hated housewives in Bravo history. When you think of Bravo's Real Housewives franchise, a few iconic names and moments immediately come to mind. There's Teresa Giudice, the fiery Jersey housewife who flipped a table in one of the most unforgettable scenes in reality TV history, and later ended up in federal prison. There's the glamorous Beverly Hills star who dazzled audiences with her luxury lifestyle, only for scandals to quietly unravel behind the scenes. And of course, the Salt Lake City diva who went from lavish living to a prison cell after being caught in an elaborate web of lies and scams. These scandals prove one thing: for every adored housewife who wins fan sympathy, there's another who becomes one of the most despised figures on the show. Some fell out of favor because of their personal choices, others because of hypocrisy, and a few because of shocking criminal behavior. Viewers love the drama, but when the drama becomes a pattern of dishonesty or reckless behavior, the line between entertainment and real-life consequences blurs. So who are the most hated housewives of all time? Let's break it down. Starting with Shannon Beador, the Orange County mom whose reputation took one hit after another, both on and off the screen. Shannon Beador. From quirky mom to controversial headline. When Shannon first joined the Real Housewives of Orange County, fans were charmed by her eccentric sense of humor and dramatic overreactions. She seemed quirky, fun, and unafraid to speak her mind. But as seasons went on, that initial charm began to wear thin. Instead of being entertaining, her constant arguments, emotional meltdowns, and tendency to blame others started to irritate even her most loyal supporters. Shannon developed a reputation for playing the victim. Whenever she clashed with her castmates, she'd often break into tears, insisting she was being unfairly targeted, only to throw sharp jabs at them moments later. What once looked like vulnerability started to feel manipulative. But the real trouble began outside of Bravo's cameras. In 2023, Shannon was arrested after crashing her car while driving under the influence. What made the situation worse was how bizarrely she behaved afterward. Security footage showed her casually walking her dog immediately after the crash, almost as if nothing had happened. Instead of gaining sympathy, the incident cemented her image as reckless and out of touch. The scandal didn't end there. Not long after, Shannon's ex-boyfriend, John Jansen, accused her of borrowing $75,000 for cosmetic surgery and failing to pay him back. Although the lawsuit was eventually resolved, it further damaged her reputation. Fans saw it as yet another example of Shannon dodging accountability while creating chaos for herself and others. In her own words, Shannon admitted she stupidly decided to drive after an argument with John, insisting it was only 3 blocks. But her explanation only fueled criticism. Viewers argued that downplaying a DUI showed how little responsibility she was willing to take. By the time the dust settled, Shannon had become a textbook case of a housewife who sabotaged herself. Between the DUI, the lawsuit, and her constant on-screen meltdowns, many fans concluded she thrives on drama while refusing to own up to her mistakes. What started as quirky charm had transformed into a frustrating pattern that left viewers exhausted. Teddi Mellencamp, the accountability coach who lacked accountability. If Shannon's downfall was fueled by reckless choices, Teddi Mellencamp's notoriety came from something different: hypocrisy. When Teddi joined the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, her selling point was her career as an accountability coach. She promoted herself as someone who could inspire others to stick to goals and make healthy lifestyle changes. Combined with her polished appearance and famous last name, as the daughter of music legend John Mellencamp, viewers were curious about her. But the curiosity quickly wore off. Instead of being a supportive friend, Teddi often acted like the moral authority of the group. She lectured her castmates, created rules for their behavior, and came across more like a strict teacher than a fellow housewife. What was meant to be accountability soon felt like constant judgment. Fans were particularly annoyed by her repetitive arguments on the show. Instead of letting things go, Teddi dragged out conflicts night after night, turning minor disagreements into endless lectures. Viewers didn't tune in for motivational speeches. They wanted glamour, fun, and drama, and Teddi's holier-than-thou attitude sucked the life out of group dynamics. Off-screen, things got even worse. Teddi's business venture, All In by Teddi, came under fire when former clients revealed shocking details about the program. Participants claimed they were pushed to consume dangerously low-calorie diets while being monitored by untrained coaches. Instead of addressing the criticism head-on, Teddi doubled down, insisting her critics didn't understand her methods. The backlash grew so intense that major news outlets covered the controversy, painting her as exploitative rather than empowering. Fans couldn't reconcile the image Teddi presented, preaching health, honesty, and balance, with the reports of unhealthy, borderline harmful practices in her business. The hypocrisy was glaring. On top of that, many viewers branded her boring, arguing she lacked the charisma needed to carry storylines. By the end of her run, she wasn't just disliked for her lectures, but also dismissed as one of the dullest housewives in franchise history. The combination of judgmental behavior on the show and questionable business practices off-screen turned Teddi into one of the least respected housewives in Bravo history. Teresa Giudice, from table-flipping icon to prison inmate. Few housewives have become as infamous or as unforgettable as Teresa Giudice. She made reality TV history in The Real Housewives of New Jersey by flipping a dinner table in a fiery outburst that is still replayed today. At the time, fans saw her as bold, unapologetic, and entertaining, but soon, her real-life troubles overshadowed her on-screen persona. In 2014, Teresa and her husband, Joe Giudice, were convicted on multiple counts of federal fraud. The charges included hiding assets, lying on loan applications, and failing to file taxes properly. The couple's lavish lifestyle, luxury homes, expensive cars, and constant shopping suddenly looked less glamorous and more suspicious. The Giudices faced the possibility of decades in prison. Ultimately, both served significant time behind bars, with Teresa completing her sentence in 2015 and Joe serving his afterward. The scandal shocked Bravo fans. For years, Teresa had portrayed herself as a devoted mother and tough fighter, but the fraud conviction painted a very different picture, one of greed, dishonesty, and reckless decision-making. While Teresa eventually returned to the show and rebuilt parts of her image, her prison stint remains one of the most infamous moments in Housewives history. She's proof that being a fan favorite doesn't always protect someone from falling into the category of most hated. For many, she symbolizes how the desire for fame and wealth can spiral out of control. Beverly Hills glamour with dark secrets. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has always been about opulence, glittering mansions, designer fashion, and expensive getaways. But behind the sparkle, the cast has faced scandals that shook their reputations. One of the most glaring examples is Erika Jayne. Known for her fierce style, elaborate performances, and catchphrases, Erika became a fan favorite until the lawsuits started piling up. Her husband, Tom Girardi, a high-profile attorney, was accused of embezzling millions of dollars from vulnerable clients, including widows and orphans. As the scandal unraveled, viewers questioned how much Erika knew. On the show, Erika insisted she had no knowledge of Tom's actions, but her lack of visible compassion toward the victims drew outrage. Instead of showing concern, she often focused on her own hardships, legal fees, frozen assets, and the loss of her lavish lifestyle. Fans felt she came across as cold and self-centered, which only fueled the hate. The situation highlighted how quickly Beverly Hills glamour can turn sour. The very things that once made Erika appealing, her luxury, confidence, and sharp tongue, turned into reminders of alleged corruption and greed. Whether she knew about Tom's crimes or not, her detached response left a permanent stain on her reputation. Jen Shah, from housewife to federal prisoner. If Teresa Giudice's prison time shocked Bravo fans, Jen Shah's downfall stunned them even more. Introduced in the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Jen quickly made a name for herself with her over-the-top personality, extravagant lifestyle, and explosive temper. She seemed built for reality TV. But in 2021, her glamorous world came crashing down when she was arrested on federal charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering.